Almost 3/4 of American adults are carrying more weight than their body was designed to handle. 3/4. That's not a niche health problem. That's basically everyone around you, including maybe you watching this right now. And yet, most of the content out there is either trying to sell you something or making you feel terrible about yourself. We're doing neither today. Today, we're going to break down exactly what excess weight is, why it happens, what it does to your body over time, and most importantly, what actually works to change it. No gimmicks, no guilt, just information. First, let's get clear on definitions, because most people mix these up. Excess weight, sometimes called being overweight, means your BMI falls between 25 and 29.9. BMI, or body mass index, is calculated from your height and weight. It's not perfect, but it's the most widely used screening tool we have. At this stage, you're not in the danger zone yet, but your body is sending signals worth paying attention to. Now, here's where America stands right now. As of the most recent data, about 36% of American adults meet the clinical definition of obese. That's a BMI of 30 or higher. And another 34% fall in the overweight category. So combined, we're looking at 70% of the adult population. And one more thing worth knowing. Women are statistically about twice as likely to struggle with excess weight compared to men. That has a lot to do with hormones, genetics, and how differently society treats women around food and body image. So why does this happen? Let's start with the physical causes, and there are 5 big ones. Number 1, genetics. If your parents or grandparents struggled with their weight, there's a real chance your metabolism is wired similarly. Certain genes literally affect how fast you burn calories and how quickly your body stores fat. This doesn't mean weight gain is inevitable for you, but it does mean you may need to work smarter than someone with different genes. Number 2, physical inactivity. We live in a world that was designed for sitting. Desk jobs, long commutes, streaming services, all of it means we're burning far fewer calories than generations before us. And here's the simple math. When the calories coming in consistently outnumber the calories going out, your body stores the difference as fat. Number 3, poor eating habits. And look, this isn't about willpower. The American food environment is specifically engineered to make you eat more. Huge portions, cheap calories, sugar and fat combinations that override your brain's natural fullness signals. When your default option is a 1,200 calorie fast food meal, eating well requires actual effort. Number 4, medications. This one surprises a lot of people. Certain common medications, including some antidepressants, steroids, anti-seizure drugs, and blood pressure medications, have weight gain as a side effect. If you've started a medication and noticed your appetite spiking, that connection is worth a conversation with your doctor. Number 5, substance use. Alcohol is often overlooked here. A single night of heavy drinking can mean consuming an entire day's worth of calories, often without even noticing. And both alcohol and drug use can completely disrupt normal hunger and satiety signals. Now, this is the part most weight loss content completely skips. And honestly, it might be the most important part of this whole video. The psychological causes of excess weight are just as real as the physical ones, and they're almost always tangled together. Emotional eating. This is when food becomes a coping mechanism. Something you reach for when you're stressed, anxious, bored, or sad. And here's the thing. This pattern almost always starts in childhood. When a parent hands a crying kid a cookie to calm them down, that child's brain starts to wire food as emotional comfort. It's not a character flaw. It's a learned response. Low self-esteem. People who struggle with chronic low self-worth often find themselves in a difficult cycle. Emotional discomfort leads to overeating, which leads to weight gain, which leads to more shame, which leads to more emotional eating. The weight changes, but the root cause doesn't. Past trauma. Research consistently shows a connection between early trauma, especially in women, and later struggles with weight. Sometimes weight gain is subconscious self-protection. The body becomes something that feels safer when it's less visible. less attractive. This isn't something you can diet your way out of. It requires real emotional work. Avoidance of relationships. Some people, often without realizing it, use weight as a shield against intimacy or social connection. This might stem from messages received in childhood about the body, sexuality, or relationships. Doctors and researchers are increasingly clear. Almost every case of excess weight has both physical and psychological components. Treating only one and ignoring the other is why so many diets fail. So what does excess weight actually feel like? These are the early warning signs your body gives you. Changes in eating behavior. You notice you're eating larger portions, craving more calorie-dense foods, or feeling out of control around eating. Gradual weight gain. This can happen slowly over months or years. Sometimes you only notice when clothes stop fitting or someone mentions it. Constant fatigue. Carrying extra weight puts extra load on every system in your body. Your muscles, your joints, your heart. The result is feeling tired even when you've slept. Disrupted sleep and snoring. Excess weight, especially around the neck and chest, can cause sleep apnea, where breathing actually stops for brief periods during sleep. This causes poor sleep quality and serious daytime drowsiness. Social withdrawal and mood changes. Feeling self-conscious about your body can cause anxiety, depression, and pulling back from activities you used to enjoy. This is incredibly common and completely understandable. If excess weight goes unaddressed, it can progress into clinical obesity, which has 3 distinct stages. Here's what that looks like. Stage 1, BMI 30 to 34.9. This is moderate obesity. Health risks exist but are still relatively manageable. This is the most reversible stage with lifestyle changes alone. Stage 2, BMI 35 to 39.9. At this level, the risk of serious complications rises significantly. We're talking type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and cardiovascular disease becoming much more likely. Stage 3, BMI 40 and above. This is severe obesity. The health risks become life-threatening, including heart disease, severe sleep apnea, arthritis, and drastically reduced mobility. At this stage, medical intervention is often necessary. A special note here. When stage 3 obesity develops alongside an eating disorder like bulimia, immediate medical care is essential. This is not a situation for self-guided dieting. It requires a clinical team. Let's talk consequences, because this is what makes excess weight worth taking seriously, beyond just how you look or feel. Carrying significant excess weight raises your risk of heart disease and stroke, liver disease, type 2 diabetes, respiratory problems including chronic shortness of breath, joint breakdown, especially in the knees and hips, certain cancers, declining fertility, and digestive problems. And here's the number that puts all of this in perspective. People between ages 15 and 70 who are significantly overweight have a 20% higher mortality rate than people at a healthy weight. That's not a scare tactic. That's from large-scale epidemiological data. Okay, now the part you've been waiting for. What actually works? The most important thing to understand is this. If your BMI is under 40, surgery and prescription weight loss drugs are not your starting point. They exist for a reason, but they're not step 1. Here's what step 1 actually looks like. This comes first. Always. Whether it's therapy, coaching, or even just honest self-reflection through journaling, addressing the emotional patterns around food is what makes everything else sustainable. Without this, most diets fail within 6 months. The Mediterranean diet is consistently rated one of the best eating patterns in the world, not just for weight, but for overall health. And unlike most diets, it doesn't make you count calories or cut entire food groups. The basics: lots of vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains. Fish and seafood a few times a week. Olive oil is your primary fat. Red meat and sweets kept to a minimum. Research shows This pattern reduces the risk of heart attack, stroke, and supports gradual weight loss. It works best for people who enjoy variety and don't want to obsess over numbers. Tips for success: add a vegetable or fruit to every single meal. Replace processed snacks with nuts, olives, or hummus. Allow yourself to experiment. This is supposed to be enjoyable. If you are a numbers person, this approach might suit you better. The target breakdown is 30% of daily calories from protein, 30% from fat, and 40% from carbohydrates. Higher protein intake keeps you full longer, which naturally reduces cravings and makes sticking to the plan much easier. You'll want to track your food, either through an app like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, or a good old-fashioned food journal. The key habits: always include a protein source at every meal, mix animal and plant-based proteins, and get most of your fats from whole foods and omega-3 sources, not saturated animal fats. You don't have to run a marathon. You don't need a gym. The research is clear that consistent moderate movement, even just 30 minutes of walking most days, makes a measurable difference in both weight and mood. Find something you don't hate. That's the only rule. Here's the honest truth about excess weight. It's complicated. It's physical and emotional and genetic and cultural all at once. There is no magic pill, no perfect diet, no overnight fixie. Here's the honest truth about excess weight. It's complicated. It's physical and emotional and genetic and cultural all at once. There is no magic pill, no perfect diet, no overnight fix. But there is a path forward. And it starts with understanding the problem clearly, which you now do. The next step? Pick one thing from this video, just one. Maybe it's tracking your food for a week. Maybe it's booking a session with a therapist. Maybe it's swapping one processed snack for something real. One step. That's it. That's how this works. If this helped you think about your health differently, share it with someone who needs it. And the next video, we're getting into exactly how to build your first week of Mediterranean eating from scratch. See you there.